Welcome everyone. I hope everybody's doing well. Y'all calm down. Y'all act like I've been gone for months. Been like a couple days, bro. Calm down. I'm a drama queen. What can I say? Anyway, so you'll have to excuse me tonight. I'm feeling a little under the weather. I think my vacation and everything just kind of caught up with me a little bit. It happens. But yeah, I'll do my best to be upbeat this evening. But yeah, it is. And it's not nothing. It's just physical. I just don't feel good. Hopefully I'm not coming down with something. But I haven't been going to the gym either. And that probably has a lot to do with it. And I need to go. Like I was going to go today and I just never did. And so I'm going to have to do that like tomorrow for sure. But there are a lot of updates, man. A lot of updates going on right now. We got Scott Peterson. We got the Delphi thing, but the Delphi thing is not like people are like all up in a stir about it, and it doesn't really mean anything. Like, but we'll get into that. And then there's our old buddy Duggar. We're gonna get into some of that because Mr. Duggar has the attorneys have made their closing arguments in court today, and they are and the jury is in deliberation. So yeah. I'm going to be upset. I'm going to be upset if this dude gets acquitted. I'm going to be really upset because it seems like it's, you know what I'm saying? Like they got him like pretty much. If it was a case where somebody is unalived, well, they got him pretty much like with a gun in his hand at the time of the shooting. So you know what I'm saying? I am going to get to let's first talk about the Delphi. The Delphi thing, basically, people got to understand that it's one case. You know what I mean? So little Abby and Libby. Actually, I'll just play this. This will fill you in. Don't do it, Cherry. Don't do it. I have to like watch what I say because Cherry will like take it and turn it into something, let's say, racy in the chat, quoting me, Glare 2021, doesn't matter what I say, she just turns it into something like that. And out of principle, I try not to word things where and it really messes with my content. Like she trolls me. Like it's like the ultimate troll because I'm sitting here like about to say something and I'm like, no, Cherry can totally turn that into something else, and I don't want to do it. You know what I mean? I don't want to do it. I want to give that to her. So I have to find another way to word it. So let me just hold on a second. Right. I'm just gonna play this little thing here. Damn it. All right. I don't even need sound for that. All right, so basically, these detectives um, they found some dude's stuff on social media, and they happen to be working the same case as the Delphi case, right? And nobody's saying whether or not it's even connected to. Yeah, like nobody's even. It's weird. Hold on, let me get out of this full screen so I can read this. So everybody's in this twist about it, and there's nothing saying that these are connected. So there's this dude named Keegan Anthony Klein, and he used a fake social media profile under the name Anthony Shots, and he would solicit underage females and obtain inappropriate photographs. And so the detectives that are working that case, and these girls' names are Abigail Williams and Liberty German. They were 13 and 14, and and I'm familiar with the case. I just never covered it. But I know that somebody got a picture, or one of the girls were smart enough to take a picture of the dude with their phone, but the dude's not been identified. And I want to see if I can get a picture of this dude, because he does look eerily close to the composite sketch. His mugshot looks a lot like the composite sketch. Now, this guy's but the thing is a lot of guys look like that. And like, if I were to look at a dude who's downloading this kind of stuff on his computer, well, I'm going to picture a guy who looks like Duggar, or I'm going to picture a guy who looks like this. Now I got to find it. Now I don't have it in this article, and that's driving me crazy, bro. I want to see this dude. I want to show this Keegan dude. So he I can't find it right now, but he denied creating the fake social media account and talking to underage girls. Later in the interview, he admitted to creating the Anthony Shots profile and speaking to underage girls. So yeah, I mean, this guy's a total Cornelius. He looks like a Cornelius, and it's driving me crazy that I can't find a picture of him right now. All right. Let me see if I can. Yeah, I mean, I don't mean to laugh. It's not that the dude looks like if somebody, like, all you to do is tell me somebody creating a fake profile and like all you got to tell me that somebody creating a fake profile who's downloading these types of images are I just found another, like, the affidavit, but I can't. Okay, dude, there's like no picture. This what I pulled up the video, but all right, maybe they'll show it in the video. Just play the video, and I'll like fast forward it to like because somebody's reading the affidavit, but it's only the thumbnail. Yeah, it's just somebody reading the affidavit. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I can't pull up a picture of this guy. Like, I typed in his name, looked under images, and there's only this one thing. So, all right. But yeah, if you see the guy, if you see the guy, you know exactly what I mean. Maybe I spelled his name wrong. Okay, so here's maybe here. All right. Looks like he gained a little weight. If he's the like gained a little weight. But all right, here we go. Okay, now here we go. Take a look at this dude. Look at this dude. Like, like, I mean, if I like, that's the first image. I've never seen this guy before. That's the first image that comes to my head. Hey, whatever. I'm not looking at chat, but I got it now. So thank you anyway. Appreciate it. Um, yeah, like if like you tell me that there's a dude downloading stuff on the internet like that, and you ask me to picture what he looks like, I'm picturing that guy. You know what I mean? Like, is that messed up? Is that messed up that I picture that dude? You know what I mean? Am I wrong? Am I wrong for that? Like, but now what's interesting is let me see if I can find. Oh, I just want the composite sketch. Here we go. Here we go. All right. So you see, he kind of looks He kind of looks like him. I mean,
Whether
it
it's
looks like
connected
him.
to the
It's just that
Delphi
he's thinner
investigation. Now,
in a
Keegan
composite
Anthony
sketch,
Klein,
right?
pictured here, is not charged in the deaths of Abby Williams and Libby German, but
He's thinner in
he
the
is in
composite
jail right now
sketch.
on charges for crime against children. Our Rich Nye hit the.
All right. So, but all they're saying, okay, like they're not saying that this dude actually did anything. You know what I mean? Like as far as the two girls being, you know, unalived, they're not saying that it's even connected. It just so happens to be the same investigators. So what are they only working that one case? You know what I mean? Now, I mean, it'd be nice if that's they can afford to spend all their time and energy on that one case. Sure, to get that family justice, fantastic. But you know, but I mean, people need to stop jumping to such quick conclusions, dude. Uh, all right. So moving on to Scott Peterson, right? So Scott Peterson got his little retrial or whatever. Uh, I mean, they messed up with the jury, right? There was some sort of jury misconduct or something to that effect, and so basically, Scott Peterson he gets resentenced. So he was on death row before, but he's no longer on death row now. He's got life in prison. To me, tomato. You know what I mean? Uh, but it sucks because the family had to confront him in court today. Um, and I feel really bad because it's been 19 years. Um, so I'm trying to see if I could see. Yeah. So Amy Lacey's sister, right? Um, Amy Lacey's sister. Uh, I think you pronounce her name Roche or Rocha. Amy Rocha. Um, she basically stood up in court and said and told this dude that she doesn't understand how you can go on living. Like she says that she feels cheated out of a relationship with her sister and her unborn son Connor, who would be 18 today, which is just crazy thinking about that. So she says, I don't know how you go on living. And that she hopes that Scott Peterson is punished in this life and the life after. So she's basically wishing hell on this dude, and I can't blame her for feeling that way. But there's speculation that he didn't even do it by a lot of people. A lot of people wonder if he was even involved. You know, I mean, the whole world hated this guy because he had an affair. I understand that. And you hear these recorded phone calls where he's like talking to his mistress, his guma, as they would say, and he's talking about he's under the Eiffel Tower and it's so beautiful and blah blah blah. And I mean, the guy's a liar. That doesn't necessarily make him a killer, but he's a liar, most definitely. And this made a lot of people mad. But there was also supposedly a burglary that took place the day that she disappeared, and and a lot of people speculate whether or not Lacey saw this take place, and then they grabbed her. That's a possibility. That is a possibility. I mean, I find it really, I have to admit that I find it really coincidental that the day she disappears, there's a burglary in their neighborhood, like in the house, like right across the street or something like that. So to me, that's just crazy. But he's got life in prison. He's not getting out. He's never going to see the light of day. And I mean, it's not death row, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't think he's ever going to get paroled. Hey, good point, Summer. Good point. Burglary does not equal murder. You know what I mean? But, you know, you don't go to prison for having an affair. You go to prison for robbing people's houses. And maybe these people really didn't want to go to prison. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, do I think he did it? I don't know. I think so, personally. I mean, he seems like a scumbag, but I'm just saying that there's reason to doubt it. You know what I mean? And if there's reason to doubt it, how did he get convicted in the first place? You see what I'm saying? Isn't the whole point beyond a reasonable doubt? And isn't it supposed to be beyond a reasonable doubt? Like, if I'm that defense attorney and I present that fact to the jury that there was a burglary that took place that same day, I'd feel like that would create some doubt, right? I mean, that's what I feel like. I don't know. So yeah. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's still justice. I'm not one who believes that anyone here is anyone to decide if someone's life ending is ours to say that it's justified. It's just, I don't believe that. You know, I mean, that's between them and nature, man. Or anybody involved in whatever the situation is. But it's not my place to say whether or not this dude should be on death row or not. It's just not my place. I'm not a judge either. So, and a lot of people, that's an argument too that takes place. They say, you know, let them sit there and rot and think about. But a lot of these people, they're just not. You know what I mean? They're remorseless people. You know what I mean? So, and then, you know, they get cable TV. They get, you know what I'm saying? Like they're just living the rest of their life and somehow finding a way to be somewhat productive in some way. I mean, even Edmund Kemper, that dude records audiobooks for the visually impaired. That guy makes coffee mugs. You know what I'm saying? Like Edmund Kemper, dude who decapitated his own mother, threw darts at her head, and did things to her head that. So, and now he's making coffee mugs and, you know, recording audiobooks for people who can't see. You know what I mean? Well, yeah, Kemper's totally crazy, but he also, I you got to take into consideration the only reason he's also extremely intelligent. The only reason that he got caught was because he turned himself in. He turned himself in. He called the cops. Was like, yeah, that's it. He ended it with his mom and then called the cops. Ew, Cherry. What's wrong with you? That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, yeah, you know, like to me, the whole Scott Peterson thing is like, now I would be up here if he was found innocent and they let him out, I'd be like, oh my God, are you kidding? But to me, this is not like, you know, okay, so he's not on death row anymore. He's just got life in prison. You know what I mean? Like nothing's different other than the fact that he's probably going to die later. So, now our buddy Duggar. So this trial, I mean, it's let's face it, a 6-day trial, 6 days, and the jury's already deliberating. That's pretty amazing. So I'm going to read some of the by the attorneys in their closing arguments, and it seems pretty compelling coming from the prosecution side. I don't see it not leaning towards the prosecution winning. So the jury returned to the court short PM today and informed Judge Timothy L. Brooks, that they're still deliberating. Earlier in the day, they told them you can deliberate as long as you want or need. Basically, you're in charge at this point. Everyone's justice. I like that. So shortly after 2:20 p.m., the jury had asked to listen to the April 2021 interview of Duggar. The interview was played for the jury in the courtroom. All 3 parts of the interview were conducted during the search warrant execution by Homeland Security investigation agents at Wholesale Motor Cars. Once again, the jurors heard Duggar discuss his knowledge of peer-to-peer file sharing software, as well as his admission that torrent applications were present of all his devices. So it's not like he was even like, dude, I don't even know what you're talking about. He admits that these applications, these apps were on his devices. And he also described how he recently reconfigured the router and network setup at his car lot. So what are you reconfiguring the router for? For what? The jury also requested a calendar from May 2019 to the present. The request was denied by the judge due to the deliberation only being allowed over evidence submitted during the trial. So since that was never submitted as evidence, the calendar that the jury is asking for, the judge couldn't allow them to use that to sway their decision. So the prosecuting attorney, her name, Carly Marshall, wait, sorry. I just got distracted by something. Yeah, so Marshall's argument is simple. Duggar was the only one there at the time that illegal child essay material was being downloaded and viewed. He's the only one. Like I said before, like that's, if they could place you at the scene with a gun in your hand, you know what I'm saying? Like that's pretty compelling. So Duggar's attorney, Justin Gelfand, began his closing arguments. Gelfand spoke for the defense for approximately 90 minutes, and he reiterated all the points that the defense has been making throughout the trial. And basically, he's trying to say that that the investigators were just starstruck at the fact that they had Duggar, this reality TV star, and they just wanted that publicity, and they wanted this conviction because they wanted the publicity for it, basically, is what he's saying. So, I mean, he's not this dude. I don't see it going. Like, I mean, when you're sitting here and you're talking to the jury for 90 minutes, right? 90 minutes. You're basically, your closing arguments are 90 minutes long, and you're basically trying to say that the investigators never treated the guy fairly and blah, 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 which is what we call smoke and mirrors, folks. Smoke and mirrors designed to create doubt. So but I don't, you know what I mean? When you've got the evidence that they've got against them, and if I'd just be mad at that dude, I'd just be mad at that dude for having me sit there and jury duty and having to see this evidence. Like, I never want to see that. I never want to see that. I don't even want to hear it. I didn't even want to read it described in the article that I read the other day. Yeah, like ridiculous. Yeah, again, smoke and mirrors, misdirection, and designed to create doubt. But that's not gonna happen. Like, I just don't see it happening. I see this dude going to prison, man. I see this dude going to prison and having a real difficult time. I wonder how long it's going to take the jury to deliberate on this. So the prosecution, after the defense makes their argument, right? After the defense makes their closing arguments, the prosecution, since the burden of proof is on them, they get to go back and say something else. They get to go back and add to their closing arguments. And the way that the prosecution described this defense, the strategy of the defense was that they just throw truth against the wall and see what sticks, which is exactly what that sounds like they're doing. Just throwing the truth up against the wall to see if it sticks. And they're going to get you looking anywhere but the facts. This is not a complicated case, he says. Or I don't know if Carly's a guy or a woman. I don't know. And it's not being televised because it's federal case. Federal cases are generally not televised. So the state cases are, but this is a federal case. And, you know. And he basically closes with saying, Mr. Duggar has had his day in court. Now it's time to hold him accountable. It's time to convict Josh Duggar. Yeah. So I'm I'm just not seeing I've just, it's, to me, it's just a question of like, how long is it going to take the jury to deliberate? Like, because I feel like if they just like it's a bad look if they go in there for like 5 minutes and just come out and be like, hey, look, yeah, he's got to go. Like, you can't do that. You got to at least look like, I mean, were they all up in there just kind of like playing Candy Crush? Be like, how long we got to sit in here and act like we're actually discussing whether or not this dude is a dirtbag? Like, how long we got to do this? That's what I feel like is happening. They probably set a time. We'll give it the weekend. We'll go in Monday. Oh yeah, that's right. You're not allowed on your phone when you when you're in the jury room deliberating. You're not allowed. I've sat there playing I Spy with my little eye. I Spy with my little eye. Skokie, Illinois. And it's like made in Skokie, Illinois, a little thing that's the bulletin board that's up there. Are they allowed to play Monopoly? Because then they get into a fight, right? I mean, if they're in there playing Monopoly, they're for sure going to get into a fight, and that'll probably help his chances. Who's Yeah, he's super confident, Oliver. Super confident. Oh, I haven't watched The Mayor of Kingstown yet. Dude, you know what? Like I watched I was Oak Leafing the other night and I watched Joe Bell with Mark Wahlberg. Yo, I was crying like a baby, bro. That's super. It was so sad. That movie was so sad. Oh my god. Uh, and then what's your problem, Panda? Um, but I saw another movie that's on Netflix because when I saw Island Girl mention Jeremy Renner, uh, there was this movie that was awesome, dude. Like it was so good. Uh, oh yeah, an Irish fan won the contest. I guess because I haven't the weight loss thing. Congratulations to her though, because she definitely lost. How many pounds was it, Irish fan? She lost a bunch of weight. She definitely lost more than I did. I know Mexican beat me. I know Mexican beat me. Um, but so congratulations to Irish fan for that. Uh, but no, man, that Jeremy Renner movie, man, on Netflix, where he like works, he's like a wildlife dude that works near like the like an Indian reservation, or sorry, Native American reservation. And he like, and this girl gets unalived, right? And it's a really weird kind of way that she gets unalived. And and they're basically he's trying to help the FBI figure out who did it. And it's got the girl that played Scarlet Witch in the Avengers. It's super good. But I can't even remember the name of the movie now. Wind River. It just hit me. It hit me like a ton of bricks, bro. Wind River. It's on Netflix. Check it out. Super good. Yeah, Wind River. It's on Netflix. Super good. Like put it on your list, whatever y'all do. I never make a list on Netflix. I just like sit there and look until something gets enough of my attention to click on it. Dude, you act like it's something wrong with wearing a Blues jersey. Like that's some sort of punishment. I have a Blues jersey, but the problem is that it's autographed by Bernie Federko and given to me by somebody very special, and I don't even want to put it on. I don't want nothing to happen to it. Yeah, man, he was really good. Like, and oh man, I was gonna talk about something else. So also there's what are they called? The I don't know, something free press something, but they have a Twitter and they're going over the Ghislaine Maxwell case, right? And Twitter suspended their account. Twitter suspended their account. See, I gotta find that. Hold on. Because that's driving me crazy. Twitter totally suspended their account, and it doesn't seem like they did anything wrong. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff happening right now. It's super crazy. All right, here we go. All right. So let me see if I can. Yes, right there. Boom. So what they're saying is all we did was report information from the trial that the mainstream media was failing to do, which I find very interesting. The account was reportedly suspended for violation of report Substack. So they're called the Free Press Report. Man intended to artificially amplify or suppress information or engage in behavior that manipulates or disrupts people's experience on Twitter. The rule violation states. Navigate the suspension, those accounts would be suspended as well. And so the person from the Free Press Report says, I'm not sure what I was amplifying, how I was doing that. I'm not really sure what amplifying or suppressing information means to this extent. Maybe Twitter thinks I was buying likes and retweets given the high engagement on the account. The author of the Free Press Tribune, who asked to remain anonymous, told the Post Millennial, but I never did that. I have reached out to Twitter, but I have not heard back. I'm not expecting to hear back either. And this is something very, very interesting here. This person says something very, very interesting here. It says, big tech has gotten too powerful and they silence us anytime they want. As we wrote earlier in the week in an article titled The Global Media Industrial Complex, local blogs and websites are suppressed by big tech algorithms. If you write one thing out of line, Google can institute a site-wide ban, making sure you never show up in search algorithms again. Facebook restricts what is posted on their website. Twitter suppresses any outside links to keep users on their own site. The year is 2021 and Big Brother is watching. So now, I don't know if that's tinfoil hat stuff. You know what I mean? I don't know. But it's kind of messed up if that's true. That's a really scary thought. Because to me, if all there is mainstream media and social media has taken over like independent media, social media is basically it's you know, it's supposed to imply independence, right? But it's not. It's not. Like so if mainstream media is controlling everything that you listen to, everything that you see, everything that you hear, right? And the social media platforms are, God, Cherry's always, and the social media platforms are suppressing what you say. Well, how do we ever expect to get the truth? You know what I mean? How do we ever expect to get the truth? Oh, cool. All right. I'm not going to go through the trouble of sharing all that though. Oh, maybe I will. I'll just email this to myself. I got nothing better to do. All right. All right, hold on one second. All right. All right. So Cherry sent me this just now, which is actually kind of awesome. So this is the sketch. These are the composite. Leo, quit being a dick. These are the composite sketches, and somebody blended them in with this dude that got charged today by the investigators investigating the Delphi case. That's pretty uncanny there, right? I mean, look at the eyes. That is pretty uncanny. Like I said, it looks like he might have gained some weight, right? Looks like he might have gained some weight, but I don't know, man. It's pretty close. The sketches are better looking. It's true. Like, I mean, why did stereotypes are a real thing sometimes, man. Stereotypes are a real thing because, like I said, you tell me a dude who makes fake accounts trying to get pictures of young girls, man, like I see that dude right there. You tell me to picture him in my mind without having seen a photograph or a composite of him, that's what I'm picturing is that dude. Maybe I'll get a hold of that affidavit and then I'll just read that at some point. Not tonight, though. That's funny. I mean, the dude is, yeah, like, I mean, where's he getting his hair cut? Like, only kitty diddlers cut their hair like that, bro. Nobody cuts their hair like that. Only kitty diddlers do that. Like, like, what does that do? Does that dude walk into a salon or a barber shop, sit down? What are we doing for you today? And he's like, give me the basement, weirdo. All excited about his new haircut that he's about to get. Give me the mom's basement, weirdo look. Can't even, I don't understand it. It's totally the mom cut it for me hair. That's what that is. Put a bowl over his head and just cut around it. A failed male model. I mean, no. Dude wasn't even in the running. Like, what are you talking about? It's so like that's the kind of dude when you take your kids trick or treating, right? On Halloween, you take your kids trick or treating, and then that dude opens the door. First of all, you know his house has a weird smell, like beef ramen, like all the time. It just smells like beef ramen all the time, right? For God knows what reason. Not because he's eating ramen, just because it smells like beef ramen, because his mom's got plastic over the furniture, and it's just one of those houses. And when he opens the door to give kids, no, he opens the door, Ames. He opens the door because he wants to see the kids. He he opens the door, and he's like the kids. It's the kind of thing that when you take your kids, you back them up, kind of. You know what I mean? You just kind of back them up a little bit, make sure they're not too close to the door when they're saying trick or treat. When a dude like that, and it's because of how he looks and because of his hair, because he's got the weird mom basement weirdo look. He's got the weird mom basement cut. Mom, mom, nobody likes Smarties, Mom. Why are you buying Smarties? Nobody eats Smarties Halloween, Mom. I told you to get Reese's and Payday. Yeah. I wonder what that dude drives. I mean, yeah, he's definitely an offender. Like that dude is he's just an offender, bro. Like if that dude walks into to an establishment that I happen to be in, I'm gonna be like, what's with the offender, dude? Who let the offender in here, bro? What's up, German lady? What? That is so messed up. That is so messed up. Like, those are the people that deserve for their house to get egged and TP'd. They deserve it. They asked for it. 5 pennies in a little baggie. What? You think I'm going to buy with that, man? Not even back in the 80s when I was a kid, trick or treating. Like, was that? No. Like, 5 pennies. I wouldn't have done nothing with that. Oh, that dude is he's definitely got the caging separation between the seats and the panel. For sure. No doubt in my mind. Yeah, my stepdad used to get excited about pennies too. It's not even. It's not even a nickel bag. It's 5 pennies. You just put a nickel in the bag? A mini bike? You think he's riding a mini bike? I don't know about that. It's right. He looks like somebody to throw pennies at, for sure. What's up, Rob? There was this place I used to go to. Like I was kind of in the system. I was kind of in the system. Uh, I was in the system when I was a kid for a while there, and I was in St. Louis, and there was this place called Ben Franklin's. And you go into Ben Franklin's, and they still had penny candy, and it was actually pretty awesome. I mean, it was bad candy. Like it was like you get the little gum cigarettes. You know what I'm saying? Little cigarettes, the little fake cigarettes, but they were gum. And if you blow them, this powdered sugar comes out. Looks like smoke. And there was like fortune gum too. And that fortune gum tasted terrible. But I mean, it was penny candy, and we were kids, and we would just stuff our faces with candy, you know? But you couldn't get nothing good with it. You couldn't get like, Snickers, Three Musketeers or nothing. Oh, Werther's, Ames. Those are Werther's. Werther's. Kenny, everybody's, yeah, man. Brick gum, straight up. Yeah, I just had all that. Yeah, the brick gum came in baseball card packs, which I collected at that time too. And I didn't care. I'd chew that gum. I didn't care. I'd crunch it. Get soft eventually. Appreciate that, Rob. Thank you very much, buddy. Wax lips. What were the point of those? What was the point of those? I'd get those in Halloween all the time. For years consecutively, somebody always put wax lips in my bag. And I mean, what do? You eat them? Like, I never actually ate them. I mean, they were wax, right? You're not supposed to eat them. Oh, the wax juice bottles, though. Yeah, remember those too. I don't think they were edible, man. I don't think they were. I don't think you could. But I get those on Halloween too. I never even knew where people bought that candy. I've never seen that candy in stores. You know what I'm saying? Like, is there like a bad neighbor Halloween candy store? Like that everybody shops at once a year to go get terrible candy for kids? Like, and remember, everybody was talking about how, like, don't accept like apples from people or candy, there's unwrapped candy or whatever. Of course not. You don't do that. But like, wasn't there like where it's like they would talk about that there were razor blades and stuff like that? Like, no, there wasn't. That never happened. I never read a case on the news about that. That was just a big like scare. Like razor blades in the candy. Come on, man. Nobody's gonna do that either. Like, you're gonna knock on the door to my house, right? And I'm gonna give you a piece of candy that's pretty distinct. Like, a parent's gonna be like, I know where I got that candy from. I know where I got that candy from, right? Never heard a case about some kid biting into a razor blade candy. Never, not once. I'm not saying it's never happened, but I'm saying like it's not really the kind of crime that somebody would generally commit. You know what I mean? Like, I can't see that. I can't see somebody incriminating themselves like that. Like at your house, You're going to give away stuff that's going to cut up a kid's mouth? What? Why? Why would you do that? Why would you incriminate yourself like that? That makes no sense at all. Needles in the apples, right? Nobody's doing that. Because I'm going to remember the neighbor that gave me an apple. You know what I mean? Like everybody else is giving me candy. You know what I mean? I'm going to give that person who gave me an apple a look. Like, really, man? Right. And no. And they're not drugging they're not drugging them. They're not drugging the candies either. That didn't happen, dude. I never understood that. I never understood the whole concept of, like, I remember, I'll never forget it. I'll never forget. I watched an episode of Punky Brewster when I used to love Punky Brewster. And as a kid, Punky Brewster was one of my favorite shows. I had a big crush on her. I still got a big crush on Soleil Moon Frye. She's still super hot. And so you get this one episode and she like, she's got a clubhouse, right? She's got a tree house. And she's got her friend Cherry, right? She's got her best friend Cherry, and she goes into the tree house, and then her friends from school that aren't really her friends, they're just the popular girls, and they want to be popular with the popular girls and be accepted by the popular girls. I love Silver Spoon too. Silver Spoons was awesome. You know what I mean? They wanted to be accepted with the popular girls. And so in order to get accepted by the popular girls, they had to let them use their treehouse as a clubhouse for their little clique, right? That's where they have their little clique meetings, right? But one time, the little leader of this little clique pulls out the most insane amount of drugs that I've ever seen anyone have at one time in my life. Even an adult back in my day, right? And she's just like, yeah, I got it from my brother. Like, who is her brother? Who is her brother? What is he doing? Is he a cartel? Like, and he's just giving her his little sister. He's just being like, hey, take all the drugs, go to your little treehouse. Like, it's not like it's free. And that never happened to me. When I got to high school, I never had people going, hey, come on. I was the guy you were like, I was the guy that you were like, oh man, here comes Will's broke ass, man. Make sure he don't know that we got weed. Make sure he don't know. That's nobody was trying to give it to me. Nobody was trying to just let me have all the drugs. That's what? But they were making kids think this is what was going on. And I kind of understand that narrative a little bit because, you know, like it makes, if you're a kid and you're a fan of Punky Brewster and you liked Nancy Reagan saying just say no and all that stuff, and you saw the episode of Different Strokes where like Dudley was in the bike shop, God, ugh, and he gave him some wine and a pill, like, and you're like, man, that is scary as hell. That is scary. It's the most uncomfortable episode of any show I've ever watched in my entire life. That stuck to me like mud, bro, like on my brain. Have you ever seen that episode of Dudley and Arnold when they go to the bike shop? And he like shows him like dirty cartoons and magazines and starts talking about how natural the naked body is and stuff. It was really, really disturbing. But I feel like it was necessary. I feel like that saved kids' lives, man. You know what I mean? I feel like that episode was necessary. They even did the disclaimer at the beginning. It wasn't even a disclaimer. It was just like, the episode you're about to see is very, very special. And it's like, we had to do this, right? You knew Mr. Drummond in real life? Are you related to Mr. Drummond? His name was Conrad Bain. Are you related to Mr. Drummond? I liked him on Maude. He was great on Maude. that ain't compromising, enterprising, anything but tranquilizing. Right on, Maud. Yeah, that's insane. Yeah, it's so funny. I mean, but that's just, people look at that like it's like some sort of propaganda, but I think that was just it was a way for them to create a very uh almost a caricature of that type of, who's a pothead? Who's a pothead? Like, on the down low, pothead, Jughead from the Archie comics. Anybody read Archie comics? Remember Jughead? Jughead was, his eyes are always shut. He wears a crown on his head for some reason. It's like a hat shaped like a crown. I've never seen anybody in real life wear one of those in my life. Never once in my life. Right? And he's wearing a hat that looks, it's all cut all weird like a crown. Super strange. Eyes are always shut. He's always hungry. Always hungry. And he's super skinny. Super duper skinny. And he always wants to take a nap. He's always sleepy, tired, lazy. Right? In the comics. I read those comics as a kid because I lived with foster parents and they were Mennonites, right? And they wouldn't let me read like superhero comics. And that was only for a couple of years that I lived with them. But they wouldn't let me read superhero comics. I wanted Spider-Man comics so bad. And they would be like, no, you can't read those. They wouldn't let me watch TV. So they would say comic books are okay, but you can't read superhero comics because they're too violent, because they're super, I guess they were conscientious objectors or whatever. But they let me read Archie comics. I read Archie comics and the little Peanuts books that had all the little strips. Oh, you're talking about Veronica, Brandy W. Yeah, she's a snob. She's the rich girl. She's Mr. Lodge's daughter. No, I mean, most of the time, like, my cousins collect comic books, and I read, they had any Batman graphic novel, and I would read those to my heart's content. If you're a teenager with a fast metabolism, like Jughead is, yeah. But he was always, his eyes were always shut. And he was always hungry and eating. And then he was always sleepy. He's always tired and lazy. And he wore a hat that looked like a crown, and it was weird. And the only other person that I've seen in real life do that, even remotely, was some idiot on YouTube. Like, that was the only person I ever even seen. Like, look at the person that actually did do that in real life and tell me what you think. If a normal person is going to wear a crown on their head. Wrestlers wearing crowns? I never heard of that. Jerry the King Law. Oh, yeah. Oh, you mean like, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. Like Hulk Hogan wore a boa. You know what I mean? So did Jesse Ventura. Like, yeah, that's perfectly acceptable behavior coming from a performer. Oh yeah. What about like the Tony Atlas or Charles Atlas? Was it Charles Atlas? Those ads where some like big bully like kicked sand in this dude's face, and he was all skinny and scrawny, and he was like, I'm tired of being a weakling, and he goes home and he knocks over all his stuff, and then he like sees the ad, and I'm just like, what ad is he seeing? Is he seeing the ad that I'm seeing him in? What ad is he seeing? And so he sees the ad, and then he like gets massive all of a sudden, and then like whoops that dude at the beach. Dude, I read a lot of comic books, man. I read a lot of comic books. And then the sea monkeys. Oh, Paul Bearer, yeah, dude. You remember Brother Love? I love you. Everybody was like, boo. He was such a good heel. I love the heels, man. They're always my favorite. Ric Flair is just my all-time favorite. Pet rocks, bro. People are stupid, man. People are so stupid. Buying pet rocks. What are you doing, dude? Yeah, man. It's crazy. It's crazy that the Undertaker's brother is my mayor where I live. And he's awesome. Like he's awesome. Yeah, Macho Man Randy Savage, British Bulldog. Yeah, Macho Man there was nobody better than the Macho Man. And Rowdy Roddy Piper, man, I love him too. Yeah, Kane. Kane is the mayor, man. Yeah, DX was fantastic, dude. Their banter was great. And it was so funny. Like X-Pac got booed more than anybody, like for no reason. Nobody liked that guy just for like no reason. It was just like you could tell he's a creep. You could just tell. Everyone hated him. Everybody would chant X-Pac sucks. Yeah, Stone Cold and The Rock, man, they changed the whole game, man, because they made you they changed the game because they made you like heels. Like that's what would happen. They wouldn't do anything to go from being a bad guy to a good guy. They were bad guys, but they were so good at being bad guys that the crowd ended up loving them, and then they just became good guys. That, you know, like they became faces. Like that's crazy. That's how good Stone Cold and The Rock were at promos. That's amazing. Mankind. I remember Mankind. Like, I don't even watch wrestling now. Like, I got to go to a couple of wrestling matches. I got to go to a couple of WWE SmackDowns. And the most exciting thing for me was seeing Shane O'Mac, to see Shane McMahon come out. That was cool. And Randy Orton. But like, I don't follow wrestling anymore. I just happen to go because I'd never been the first time. And then the next time it was like my buddy was going, and I was like, yeah, I'll go. You know, and I never, yeah, I'm not into I don't think any of these wrestlers have even remotely the personality that they did back in the day. They just don't. You know what I mean? Like, dude, come on, man. You had tag teams like Edge and Christian, and like they have a special move called the concerto, where where they each take a steel chair and hit you across each side of your head with it at the same time. Like that. Dude, those chairs hurt. I don't care what anyone says. Those chairs hurt. They have to. They have to. Yeah, man. Billy the Kid. You talking about Billy Gunn? Billy Gunn was awesome because he his nickname was Mr. Ass. He had Mr. Ass just right across the back part of his wrestling shorts. Yeah, I don't. Jake the Snake, man, he got away with just being super intense, man. That dude had no personality. Like, he had such little personality that it gave him personality, is what that was. I'm Cosmo Kramer, the Ass Man. That's the best Seinfeld episode. Junkyard Dog, man. He was, at one point, he was my favorite. He's just my favorite. Boxing's cool, man. Boxing's all right. But it's becoming a joke. Jake Paul and his brother, whatever the hell his name is, they're just making a whole farce of it. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I can't be mad at them for not being professional boxers and then just deciding to take it up for fun, and then they happen to do really well at it. But I mean, they're also taking on over the hill. Panda, calm down. They're also taking on like over the hill boxers that are already done. You know what I mean? Panda, stop. Thank you. Are you serious right now? So yeah, man. Like to me, it's just like I keep watching them just trash talk. I want to see this fight happen with Mike Tyson because but I'm gonna be so upset if Mike Tyson doesn't just destroy this guy. I'm gonna be so upset about that. Like right now, like MMA is the only thing as far as, you know, and I don't really follow this stuff. Like I enjoy sports, but I just don't follow. I just don't. I end up in the end of the day not caring about who wins. I don't follow the players. I just don't. Jake Paul and Logan Paul. That's right. And I mean, dude, like, I mean, I give him credit for training at boxing and getting good at it. I give him credit for that, but they're internet trolls is what they are. Like, they're trolling the sport of boxing is what they're doing. Oh, I don't know. There's supposed to be a fight between him and Jake Paul, I think, or Logan Paul, one of the two. Like one of them, yeah. People are trying to make it happen. Yeah, man. Let me tell you, man, that's some of the most serious cardio you could be doing. That's seriously some of the most serious cardio you can be doing is like doing shadow boxing or punching a heavy bag. That is exhausting, man. That will wind you and you will sweat. I just, man, yeah, like I just don't care about sports. I mean, I like it if it's on. Like when I was at my brother's, I was like watching I was watching football, you know, and I was enjoying it. Problem was I felt bad for my brother because he can't sit down and watch because he's got three small kids, you know, so he's always doing the dad thing, constantly doing the dad thing. So he never gets any time to himself, you know. And I mean, he's happy, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to imply anything like, oh my god, his life sucks. No, I mean, but he loves football and he wants to be able to sit down and watch football. Like nobody's dad at our age like not watched football. They would be like, I'm sitting down and watching football. Like I'm dad and that's what I'm doing. That's not how it is these days. Oh, I'm super hyped about Spider-Man. They're entering this multiverse stuff. I just watched Venom, Let There Be Carnage. I don't like the Venom movies. I've come to that conclusion. But what they're doing, like after the credits, and I saw, ooh, I'm excited about that. Like they need to just, let all this stuff happen. Because how are you going to top the Avengers, man? All those Avengers movies and building up to Infinity War and Endgame, like it's hard to do. It's hard to do. But Tom Holland doesn't suck. He's all right. He's an all right Spider-Man. He's not the best Spider-Man. Well, I mean, I don't know. I liked Andrew Garfield. I thought that was a bit of a darker take on Peter Parker, and I like that. But it's, I mean, I like Venom in the comic books, Ames, but the movies I think are awful, like terrible. Like the comedy is way too campy for me. It's just way too campy for me. And don't feel so bad for my brother because he also DVRs the games. So he has to watch games in increments, but he still gets to watch them. He just, never in real time. Well, they did a good job translating Venom to the movies, though. Like in the sense of like what they're doing with computer graphics now and everything. I mean, they made it look as good as it can look. They made Carnage look as good as Carnage can look, but it's just the writing. I don't like Tom Hardy in these movies, and Tom Hardy is one of my favorite actors. The kind of actor that even if a movie's bad, I'll probably like it because he's in it, because he's such a talented actor. But, not these. Deadpool is going to join everything. Yeah, that's actually happening. From what I understand, the plan is that Deadpool is going to they're going to start. If Dwayne Johnson was Venom, I don't know, man, but he has like made Black Adam his baby. Dwayne Johnson is like training harder than he's ever in his life. Supposedly he's bigger than he's ever been. Like his physique is sculpted right now for the Black Adam role. He wants to make this comic book character look like a comic book character come to life. Like how they draw comic book characters in the comic books, they draw them ridiculously exaggerated with their physiques, and nobody looks like that in real life. Like nobody. Like the closest thing you could get is getting pro wrestlers to play these characters. But it's funny, like supposedly Chris Hemsworth, the guy who played Thor, is playing Hulk Hogan in a biopic. And he got jacked for it. And the same thing with Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx is playing Mike Tyson in a biopic. And Jamie Foxx is supposedly like just stupid, huge, ripped, just jacked. Like they got these roles and then they just moved into the gym. Like Dwayne Johnson literally did that. Dwayne Johnson has what he has is like he has a personal gym. He made like a trailer that goes with him, like a mobile trailer that goes with him on every movie set, no matter where he is in the world. That thing goes with him, and he like, and that's and he's just constantly working out. It's crazy. But I know all these dudes juice. I know they do. I learned that when I first started working out real seriously, because one fun fact is Christian Bale gained all the weight to play Batman. He gained all that weight in 3 months from playing in The Machinist. If you've ever seen The Machinist, he got like gross skinny. And so he plays in The Machinist, and then after doing The Machinist 3 months, he gets huge for it's not possible naturally. There's no way. I've been lifting consistently for like 3 years. I've gained like a little bit of muscle. Yeah. Like crazy. Yeah. No, these guys, yeah, they're definitely juicy. I don't care what anybody says. And I happen to know this for a fact because I have a friend who, she now lives in Texas, but she used to live in Miami, and that was what her job was. She would, because you can take, there's illegal steroids, but there's also there's legal ones that you can be prescribed to by a doctor, by a hormone, specialist, and there are dosages for this. She actually had high-end clientele where she would go to their house, and she would never tell me who they were because she was sworn by contract to anonymity, and could not say. But that was her job, is to go and give proper dosages to celebrities. And it's like all of them do it. Not even the ones that look like super like huge. Just the dudes that like just, like dudes like Ryan Gosling, bodies like that. I don't know what he does, but just having a nice chiseled body. They don't spend hardly any time in the gym. Spend just enough time in the gym to where the hormones will do the job for them. And they have a specialist come out to their house and give them the treatments. And she was one of those specialists. It's growing on me. I was worried about it because Matt Reeves, the director, he and Robert Pattinson don't get along at all. Supposedly, reportedly, they don't get along. Matt Reeves cannot stand him. He refuses to work out. He refuses to do what it takes to get into the role. and fulfill his vision for the movie. But the trailers that I'm seeing for that, I'm not hating it. I'm not hating it. I still think they could have gotten somebody better than him. But it seems like they're taking the darkest possible take on Batman yet since like the Joker, with Joaquin Phoenix. And there is rumors that they're going to tie those two together somehow or another, which I can see happening. But yeah, like I love the car. I love the Batmobile. I think it looks great. But Paul Dano or Dano, is it Dano? He's a fantastic actor, and him playing the Riddler, I believe it is. And I could see a dark take on that character being done really well by him. And they got Colin Farrell to play the Penguin, and I think that that's kind of weird. Like they made him look all fat and weird and ugly, like an old fat ugly mobster, right? But I mean, why couldn't you just hire a fat weird looking actor to do it? Why all the, you know what I mean? Why get Colin Farrell of all actors to play that role? So, you know what I mean? Is it just for the name so you could sell the movie better? You know what I mean? I think that's weird. I can't believe that there's still over 70 people in here as I'm talking about this crap. Yeah, there's no reason why Danny DeVito can't play the Penguin still. You know what I mean? But I'm loving what they're doing with these multiverse things, man, and these movies, man, because like the Flash movie, I'm like, how can a Flash movie even be good? Like, you know what I mean? I'm not interested, right? But what they're doing is they're doing like a Flashpoint paradox, which is a comic, and there's different dimensions, and so they're doing like the same thing that Spider-Man's doing, and they're bringing back like Michael Keaton as Batman. Like Michael Keaton's going to be Batman again in this, and I'm so excited about it. They just better do it right. Like I want to see an action sequence. I want to see him like getting down. You know what I mean? I want to see Michael Keaton get down as Batman the way he couldn't in a Tim Burton movie because it just wasn't possible with technology and movies back then. Yeah, I know that's totally happened. Yeah, Michael Keaton is going to be Batman in this new Flash movie. He's at least going to be Bruce Wayne. We'll see how far they take it. But yeah, I mean, this Spider-Man movie, supposedly it's going to have, I mean, we know it's going to have, the preview already shows that it's going to have the Dr. Octopus from Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire. Oh yeah, Val Kilmer's done though, man. Like he's done acting. Like he has gone through hell. But the thing is, man, like his outlook on everything is amazing. Prime has a great documentary called Val about that. And he's fantastic. It's great. Um oh, that was the worst movie ever, dude. That was the worst movie ever. Ben Affleck's face makes me mad in that movie. I don't like Ben Affleck as an actor very much. There's certain things I see him in that I'm like, okay, you know, cool. Like I liked him in The Town, you know. There's certain movies that I see him in that I really like him in. But I think he's a brilliant director. I would have liked to see his Batman projects happen. Because what's funny is as far as the whole Justice League thing went down, him being cast as Batman was the thing that made me the most mad. And now that I saw him actually play Batman, that was the best part. of all of the whole thing. I thought he was a terrible Bruce Wayne because, like I said, his face just annoys me. I don't know why. It just bothers me. But he was, yeah, like I thought he looked great as Batman. I thought the Batman action sequences were like the best in any Batman movie yet. Yeah, Jamie Foxx is coming back as Electro, which was from the Andrew Garfield Spider-Mans. So Andrew Garfield is coming back as that Spider-Man, and Tobey Maguire is coming back as his Spider-Man, and it's crazy. Like they're doing some cool, fun stuff where they're crossing over all of these franchises that happened in the past, and I love it. Is my favorite Batman Michael Keaton? No. I mean, if we're talking about Michael Keaton if we're talking about both Batman and Bruce Wayne portrayed well, yeah, I'd say Michael Keaton for sure. Definitely. I think he got the essence of the character, the best. But come on, man, Adam West. Yeah, The Accountant was cool, man. I wish The Accountant had more action sequences, though. No, George Clooney was the worst, man. And I like George Clooney, but he had no business playing Batman. They were just trying to sell movie tickets, casting him, and Tobey Maguire was not in Brokeback. You're thinking Jake Gyllenhaal. Yeah, see, I didn't like him as Bruce Wayne. It's just Joel Schumacher had no business making Batman movies, man. That's all that was. I mean, he's a good director, but he was just trying to recreate a cartoony, campy 1960s, updated 1960s version of Batman. And that's no, like, we don't want to see that. Like, yeah, what? What's with those nipples? Why did he put nipples on the bat suit? Like, it was weird. Like, why'd you put nipples in the bat suit, bro? I don't know. My favorite Catwoman. I liked Michelle Pfeiffer. I mean, there's not that many of them, you know. I liked Michelle Pfeiffer, but I thought Anne Hathaway's take on her was more true to the actual character from the comic books and graphic novels. They focused just mostly on her just being a very, very good thief, which is the George Clooney Batman had nipples, man. The George Clooney Batman had nipples. It was weird. He's posting nipples on Discord. Yeah, it's just weird, man. They had like the beginning of the George Clooney Batman movie was like a montage of shots of him putting on the suit, and then they show like his butt. Like, why? Like it's just like a straight up zoom in on his butt, and then the nipples and then yeah, and then Robin's like, I want a car. Chicks dig the car. And I was already like, I was sitting in the movie theater and I was mad. I was like, this is the worst movie already. It hadn't even been on for 3 minutes and I'm already mad about it. Made me super mad. Yeah, I never even saw that. Like, supposedly had nothing to do with any comic books or anything. Like, they just took the name and dressed her up as a cat and wrote some own version of her. Well, Halle Berry's a good actress, but she didn't convince me in John Wick 3 though. Like, I wasn't like Keanu seemed like he was a natural at all of the moves that he was doing, but Halle Berry absolutely seemed like she was working really hard, like she didn't seem to flow with the movements of those action sequences naturally the way that Keanu seemed to. And I probably wouldn't even notice if she wasn't alongside Keanu. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like Keanu kind of showed her up a little bit. But I mean, and it's not cool to really talk about that because, like, can you imagine how hard the work was to pull that off, to rehearse all of that, learn all those moves? That's crazy to me. Black Panther's not a female. I mean, they might make Black Panther a female, which that's okay with me. That doesn't bother me. I don't get upset about these things, man, that people get all bent out of shape about. People are getting bent out of shape that Jeffrey Wright is playing Commissioner Gordon. I think he's great for the role, honestly. Like, who says he's got to look like Gary Oldman? First of all, is a fantastic actor, probably one of my favorite actors of all time. Gary Oldman is, and that he looked like he's drawn in the comics. He looked just like he's drawn in the comics. Gary Oldman did amazing. But as far as like the kind of person that I see and read in the comic books, I see Jeffrey Wright pulling that off, doing a great job. I mean, and then there's like, so they made like Superboy like bisexual, right? Which, okay, you know what I mean? Like, it's not that I have a problem with that. It's just that, like, why is a comic book character or a superhero's sexuality a focus in writing a comic book? Like, I would be like, if I read Peter, like, corny stuff, like I would just ignore the corny stuff between Peter Parker and MJ. I just didn't care. Superman and Lois Lane, didn't care about any of that. I'm like, why? I don't care about what kind of like domestic partners these people are. Like, go out and whoop some bad guy ass. That's all I care about. So the fact that like they're making this, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's Superman. It's not that they're making it impure or anything like that. I'm just, it's just like, it feels forced. You know what I mean? It just feels forced, you know? Like it's some milestone for like gay rights. I mean, okay, maybe, but I mean, it's Superman. I don't care which way he likes to go. I don't care. It makes no difference to me which way Superman goes. Why is that an emphasis? That's all I'm saying. Yeah, no, that's a real thing. Like, you guys got to watch Nerdette's Newsstand, man. She talks about all this stuff. She is super awesome. She talks about all this stuff. Like she reads comics and she gives updates on what's going on in comics and how she feels about certain things that are happening in comics. And she's really well spoken and she's really cool. Yeah, it's just I mean, I don't care. I don't care which way a superhero swings, man. It's all, it's what's that got to do with stopping Lex Luthor from blowing up the world? You know what I mean? Like, what's that got to do with that? It's got nothing to do with that. Nerdette's Newsstand. Her name's Tristan, but her channel's called Nerdette's Newsstand. All right, guys, that's it for me. I gotta walk these dogs. I love you guys very much, and we will do this again very soon, my friends.